2,400 points Ogre Kingdoms. For core, we have 12 Iron Guts with full command. Special, 2 units of 4 Mornfang cavalry with heavy armor and iron fist. For rare, we have a Stonehorn and a Iron Blaster. And then the characters, we have a level 4 Slaughtermaster with the Lore of the Great Maw, with Spine Marrow, Bone Crusher, Tooth Cracker, and Troll Guts. There's a he also has some items. He has Armor of Silvered Steel, as well as Greedy Fist and Great Weapon. The Bruiser is the BSB, and he has the Rune Maw banner and an Iron Fist. And then the level 1 Butcher with Lore of Beasts, Wisdom's Wild Form. He has the Noblar Thief Stone and Enchanted Shield.
Here's my 2,400 points Beastman army. For core we have 2 Tuskor chariots, 48 Gores with full command and additional hand weapons, 4 units of 5 Ungor skirmishers. For special we have 38 Bestigors with full command and standard of discipline, 1 Razorgore chariots, 1 lone Razorgore, and my lord is a Beast Lord with heavy armor, shield, ramhorn helm, brass cleaver, dawnstone, and the other trickster shard. And my level 4 shaman is he has Lore of Beasts, he has the Jagged Dagger, Fencer's Blade, Iron Curse icon, and the Talisman of Preservation. My level 2 of Beast has the Dispel Scroll, Ruby Ring of Ruin, and additional hand weapon. And my BSB has heavy armor and shield and carries the Beast banner. For spells, for my level 4 I rolled up Wisdom's Wild Form, the Curse of Andrahir, Amber Spear, and the Savage Beast of Horus. And for my level 2 I rolled up Pan's Impenetrable Pelt and Wisdom's Wild Form. This is the end of the movement phase for ogres. So to summarize the Ogre Kingdoms turn 1, the Iron Blaster shot at the chariot but got a misfire and got squelched, so he cannot fire this turn or next. And he got Bone Crusher off at the Ungor Raiders and killed one of them.
Beastmen turn 1, 2 charges into the Mornfang cavalry, and then for the remaining moves we have ambushers coming in next to the Stonehorn, as well as on the Ogre's right flank, and the rest of the army moved up towards the main combat. For the Winds of Magic, Beastmen tried to cast Wisdom's Wild Form on the chariot to the left here, the what's it called?
Razorgore.
Razorgore chariot, twice with the level 4 and the level 2, and they were both dispelled. And then they cast the Curse of Andrahir on the Iron Guts, but because of Rune Maw, it was forced to jump to the Mornfang cavalry. For the shooting, all the ambushers fired, but not a single wound across the table. Close combat. The Beastmen did 1 wound on the Mornfang. The Mornfang did 3 wounds back, which caused the Razorgore chariot to flee. But the Tuskor chariot held out and was left in combat. And it fled all the way back, popped through, and is leaving the battlefield. Yeah.
End of movement for Ogre Kingdoms turn 2. The Stonehorn shuffled up. The Iron Gut Star moved up a bit. They charged into the Razorgore, and the Iron Blaster turned to the side. Ogre Kingdoms turn 2. He tried to shoot the Ogre Raiders but missed, and then nothing really happened in the magic phase. I managed to dispel everything, or he didn't make the dice roll. Otherwise, we're waiting for this combat and that one.
Yes.
End of combat, Ogre Kingdoms killed the Razor Gore and also the Tusker Chariots. Now it's time for Beastman turn 3. 2. Beastman turn 2.
End of Beastman turn 2. Not a whole lot happened. Movement phase, the skirmishers started to surround on both sides. The chariot moved up to block the Iron Guts. Then for magic, one spell was successfully cast. It was the Curse of Andrahir on the Iron Guts, but because of Rune Maw, it was targeted to the Mournfang Cavalry. The Razor Gore chariot was rallied. The big blocks of Bestigors and Gores inched backwards. And then for shooting, not a single wound again.
Angors. Ogre Kingdoms turn 3, movement phase is done. Mournfangs charged Ogre Raiders. That one shuffled around a bit. The Gutstar charged Redirector Chariot. They are standing still due to Curse of Andrahir. The Stonehorn. He failed charge against the Ogre Raiders who fled, and otherwise it looks like this. Ogre Kingdoms turn 3, shooting and magic. He managed to get 2 wounds off the Razor Gore Chariots with his Iron Blaster, and otherwise it was uneventful in the magic phase. Nothing happened. The Mournfangs destroyed the Ogre Raiders, and the Gutstar unit killed the Tusker Chariot.
Beastman turn 3, movement phase has ended. The fleeing Gores fled off the table, so they're not here, as you can see. The large unit of Gores backed here, while the Bestigors charged the Stonehorn, as well as the Razor Gore chariot flank charged him. And then the other unit of Gores came up in behind. Same did these Gores as well. So we have a situation like this now. Beastmen shooting again, nothing happened. We can skip that phase from now on.
Yeah.
And then for magic, they managed to get one Visans Wildform on, the other one was dispelled, and then a Curse of Andrahir on the Iron Guts again, but because of Rune Maw, it jumped to the Mournfangs. So now moving on to this close combat. The Stonehorn was slaughtered. Tried to do all the attacks back into the Beastman general, but he saved all of them with his armor save. And then the Razor Gore chariot overran into the Mournfang cavalry, and the Bestigors pivoted up.
He charged with the Mournfangs, but got a failed charge.
Movement phase.
Movement phase. And then the Iron Guts came in, but just managed to get a couple of the full ranks in. Otherwise, nothing really happened. He shuffled up with the Iron Blaster. And now it's time for magic and shooting and combat. Ogre Kingdoms turn 4, end of shooting and magic phase. He killed 3 Gores and managed to get in Spine Marrow, so that ugly boss is stubborn. Otherwise we're going to close combat. During the close combat I managed to do some impact hit, and they ran away, but I didn't catch him. And versus the Iron Guts it was a close call, but the Bestigors won, and they are sticking around due to stubborn from Spine Marrow. Now we go to Beastman turn 4.
Beastman movement phase turn 4. The Razor Gore chariot continued to charge the Mournfang, but had a lousy roll, and they escaped for another turn. Then the Gores also charged in the Iron Guts, but have an even worse roll, double ones. so they just stumbled forward. And then the ambusher units just moved around and is trying to shoot something, which they have failed with for the entire game. End of magic and shooting phase. For the magic, Beastman got the Wissans wild form onto the Bestigors, and then tried a Curse of Andrahir on the Iron Guts, but that was dispelled. Shooting, the lousy Gores managed to do 1 wound on the Mournfangs, and the other ones missed all their shots. Close combat phase, the Ogres did 5 wounds into the Bestigor unit, and the Bestigor managed to do 12 wounds, killing, well, 4 Ogres actually. The Ogres are still stubborn from the spine marrow, so they stayed, and the Bestigors reformed.
Ogre Kingdoms turn 5. The Mournfangs managed to charge the Gores. The Iron Blaster got an Ogre charge as well, of course. Here we are staying, and what's it called? The Mournfang rallied, and it's just moving away from the Razor Gore chariot. The magic phase was very successful. He managed to get in Tooth Cracker, Spine Marrow, and Troll Guts. So I think this fight is not ending well for the Beastmen. Ogre Kingdoms turn 5. In close combat he slaughtered my Gores, but I was steadfast. I managed to kill 1 off, and due to the general being in close proximity I managed to pass my leadership test. Here I won combat, but due to his spells he was stubborn, otherwise nothing happened.
Beastman's movement phase for turn 5. Not much happened. The Razor Gore charged the Mournfang, who fled and got away. And then the Gore ambushers positioned themselves to keep firing. Beastman turn 5, shooting and magic phase. He managed to get the Savage Beast of Horus onto his shaman in that unit, and then failed to cast the Curse of Andrahir on the Iron Guts, which meant that his level 4 couldn't cast anymore, and then failed on Wissans wild form. And the shooting did nothing again. End of close combat. The Mournfang did 10 plus wounds and received 1 back, but then the Iron Blaster received 4 wounds. So the Mournfang won the combat, but the Gores were still steadfast and stayed. Second combat, 4 wounds, 2 on the Bruiser and 2 on the Butcher for the Ogres, and they scored 5 wounds back, killing the level 2 Shaman. So the Ogres lost, but they're still stubborn because of Spine Marrow.
Ogre Kingdoms turn 6. The Mournfang moved away from the Charge Arc, and then nothing happened in the magic phase. Tried to 5-dice the big version of Troll Guts, but it didn't succeed. On to fighting. Ogre Kingdoms turn 6. Managed to win this combat and got the Mournfang and Iron Blaster to flee. Here we're staying put. Killed the Slaughtermaster?
The Butcher.
The Butcher. And the Mournfangs over there.
Beastman turn 6, wrapped up the game. These guys died from this combat, and everything is gone except for Mournfang Cavalry that's still alive. So it was a big victory for the Beastmen in the end.